Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel / podcast. My name is Jumal Gelwin and I'm your favorite femininity coach and women's mentor. How you ladies doing? I've been gone for a week because I was on vacation with my husband's family and we had a great time, feeling refreshed, back, ready to go. So I wanted to deliver this message to you because I think this is really important. How to make him always chase you. Okay, how to make yourself irresistible, okay, to the man that you're with. I'm gonna give you guys four of the top things I would say probably you need to focus on. The last tip is more so for married women. So if you're a married woman, stick with me until the end because I do have something juicy for you at the end. The last point is for married women, but I do think just understanding this, even as an unmarried woman who's desiring marriage, it will be helpful for you. You'll see what I'm saying in a second. And I think this is really important to talk about because a lot of women, especially Christian women, they're being given the wrong advice or it's an incomplete advice that they're given. You're often told simply just be a good woman, just make sure that you go to church, you pray, you fast, you love the Lord. If you love the Lord, then everything is going to come together. And all of those things are great and those are great traits, but those are not the things that fuel attraction with the opposite sex. Okay, so we're talking about men. Those are not the things, like a man is not going to look at you paying tithes and giving offering and be like, man, that's just wow. Oh my God, like something is tickling me. Usually all that stuff could be the icing on the cake, but that's after you get through the door. But if you don't do these first few things, it doesn't matter. It's like men being told to just be nice, right? Oh, just be nice to women. And they don't tell them that you have to be attractive and masculine to women first before you're nice. Nice is the icing on the cake, but if you're nice without being masculine or attractive, women just get the ick. So I think that women, it's a similar disconnect that we're having. And a lot of women, and unfortunately, like with marriages in general, like when you don't do these few things or you don't have these few things as a woman, you often hear with a lot of married folks after some years, oh, we fell out of love, which is problematic, but that's a video for another day. Like I always say that great marriages are not found, they're built. So this idea of I'm just going to walk into this perfect situation with this perfect man, never have to do anything, never put in any effort, and because he's my soulmate, he should just read my mind, everything should be perfect, and we should just be smooth sailing until we die. No, okay? No. Marriage and relationships in general is effort, okay? And that effort is what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. So the first thing that you need to do, okay, if you want to make him crazy for you, if you want to remain chaseable, if you want him to just always be on your tail, all right, the first thing you have to do is, you probably already know what I'm going to say, ladies. If you've been watching me for a long enough time, you know what I'm going to say is never let yourself go. Yes, I'm going to be really blunt and honest with you ladies in this video podcast, because you've been coddled enough. Like everyone's been lying to you. I'm going to just tell you the truth. And this is probably the biggest thing, because we have to remember that men are visual creatures. Too often, women, they take their husbands and the men that they're with for granted. It is too common that a woman would get into a relationship, get married, and let herself go. And what do I mean by letting yourself go? Because maybe I have to just spell it out for some people. Letting yourself go looks like being undisciplined when it comes to your weight. Okay, it looks like not doing the things that you did to get him. Things like you don't do your hair anymore, you don't do your nails anymore, you don't wear any makeup anymore, you don't, even when it comes to the clothes that you wear around the house, you're just in your helmet of salvation, satin bonnet, no t-shirt, muumuu, just nothing. Like you don't put yourself together unless it's for other people, aka men. Unless if you're going to a party, unless if you're going outside and you think that there are people who are more important than your husband outside of your home, that's when you take the time and the effort to dress up. But you take your husband for granted because, okay, I locked him in. Now I can let my guard down and I can just be sloppy. be lazy, lose my feminine mystique. No, ladies, don't do that. I can tell you, and I can speak for my husband, okay? I'm speaking for my husband, but I've been married for a few years and my husband's still on my tail. Even now, I am in my third trimester, okay? I'm in my third trimester, I am pregnant. My husband is still on my tail, okay? My husband still wants to be around me. He still wants to woo me. He still wants to pursue me. Why? The biggest thing is because that's the first thing. Okay, let me not say that. I tell women that looks get you through the door and character is what keeps you in the room. But we cannot skip the looks and is that a kitty outside my window? It is. We can't skip this because too many women are told just be a Proverbs 31 woman, just have good character, which is great. But the man has to first be attracted to you. Okay, this is important. At home, especially for y'all who want to be homemakers, you want to be stay-at-home moms, take it as a job. You can't go to your boss, another man, right, and dress up for him, dress up for the job, dress up for promotion, right, so that you could be taken seriously at work. But when you come home, again, you just take your husband for granted. So there's a saying that my husband told me when we were dating. He said that women expect their men to change, men want their women to stay the same. And women expect men to change and morph into this person that they have in their mind of, oh, I want him to be more like this, be more like this. They don't accept men for who they are, which we're going to talk about in the next point. But then for men, if a man met you in a certain way and he was attracted to you when he met you, most men want you to stay in a certain range. And I'm saying range because obviously you're going to age. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Really, you're going to age, right? Because people try to use kids as an excuse to let themselves go. And maybe I can talk about that in another video, but I do think that some women are using childbearing as an excuse to be gluttonous. Let's just be real. When they sit here and say, oh, you're eating for 2, you're not eating for 2. You're eating for 1.1. Okay, maybe 1.1, 1.2 at most, but you don't need to gain 100 pounds to have a healthy pregnancy. If you guys want me to create like a whole video about how to remain chasteable while you're pregnant, even postpartum, how to snap back quickly, let me know in the comments below. This is my second pregnancy. I don't know what's going to happen. Again, I'm in my third trimester, but I still look cute. I gained the recommended weight, but I still kept myself in a certain range, right? So it's important in all aspects. Like, obviously, you might get stretch marks, so that's hereditary. You're going to age, but do what you can in your own might. That is really important. I can't get off this point because I know it's super sensitive, but do what you can. Like, still invest in your femininity. I hate watching these like little clips, like these TikToks. I don't know if you guys seen this trend of like when I was with him versus when I left, and oh my gosh, that relationship made me so sick and I was breaking out and I was this and I was that. And I'm like, that's your fault. Like, why are you blaming the man like for letting yourself go? Sure, we can say, oh, it was a toxic relationship, but it's like, where's the accountability? Who is stopping you? Unless if he's chaining you down in your room in a dungeon, who's stopping you from going to the gym? Who is stopping you from eating healthy? Who is stopping you from putting on makeup? Who is stopping you from doing your hair? Nobody, right? Nobody. So you need to take accountability and ownership as a woman, not wait for a man to sit down and have the talk with you and tell you that, hey, and most men will not even tell you this because if they do, they might get canceled. So just be aware of just when it comes to masculinity and masculine men, how they're hardwired. Don't take it for granted. They're not women. Okay. So do what you can to remain attractive to your man in all seasons. Okay. Number 2, give him rata, R-A-T-A. I think I got some of this from the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, but also is just from observation, right? Observation, talking to men. The book helped, but I think if I can summarize, I think there's one more thing that they said, but this is like my Jumoke version of what is said. Number 1 is respect. Men crave respect. This is big. A man's number 1 love language is respect. And women sit here and they talk a good game, but it's actually more difficult than women think, to be in a state of constant respect to their husbands, or just to the man that they're with, to the relationship with the man that they're with, because a lot of us have not seen healthy relationship functions. And because a lot of us have more of an egalitarian, feminist mindset and worldview, we think respect is just being nice. That's not what respect is to men. That doesn't translate to respect. So certain things that are disrespectful to a man, or certain actions that you're doing that could be disrespectful, things like, we'll talk about this in the next one, but like arguing with him, talking down to him, sunning him, mothering him, not trusting him to lead, backleading, all these different things can be communicated as disrespectful. Your tone, how you're speaking to a man. Really just ask yourself, who's the person that you respect the most out of everyone in the entire world, right? It could be a celebrity figure, it could be Barack Obama, it could be your own grandfather, I don't know. Would you treat your husband in the same way you treat this person that you respect the most? Or do you take him for granted? Do you see him as just a peer? Do you just see him as someone who's just your equal, that you can talk to anyhow, someone that you don't really need to have any type of reverence in the way that you speak to them, simply because, oh yeah, we're all equal anyways, and I can do whatever I want and whatever. Like, you have to be, and again, it's more about like your tone. It's more about how you're seeing him, how you're viewing him, because the Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you don't respect male headship in general, it's going to come out in your communication with him. It's going to come out in subtle ways of you demeaning him, putting him down, not trusting him as a leader, thinking that you're better than him. That's a big one. Women think that they're better than men. They can lead better than men, and they can be better men than men. If you think you can be a better man than your man, it will come out in a disrespectful way. If you think that you can lead better, provide better, protect better than him, you will do certain things subconsciously because you do not respect him. So it's important that you have to keep checking yourself and making sure, hey, am I respecting this man and his masculinity? Am I respecting him as a man, or am I just flippant in the way that I speak to him and the way that I talk to him? That's one. So that's R. Then it's A, acceptance. This is big too, because men, they need to feel full acceptance from the woman that they're with. Remember I said that women want their man to change, and that constantly wanting a man to change, wanting him to be who you want him to be, this is really what turns a lot of men off. I should have connected it, but with the respect thing, start being disrespectful and it'll turn a man off. If you ever sit here and wonder, why do men leave women that seem like they're perfect on paper, that they're this boss babe, they're making all this money, and who do they end up with? These high caliber men, these top tier men, like these types of men, who do you usually see them with? You don't usually see them with boss babes. You don't see them with women like that. You see them with women who are like the barista, a school teacher, a stay-at-home mom, a concierge. Like, these are the types of women that they date. And for some people, they're like, oh, because it's control and patriarchy. I think it's really because women who think that they're on the same level as a man because they're making the same amount as a man, you have a tendency to be extremely disrespectful to the men that they're with because they see it as a competition. Men don't want to be in a competition with nobody that they're with. They just want to be respected as a man. But again, a lot of women, it's a very subconscious thing. So let me move on. Back to acceptance, right? Acceptance. Men want to feel accepted by the women that they are with. And a lot of women, they just don't accept men. Why? And you're not accepting a man if you're constantly arguing with him, constantly usurping his authority, constantly trying to change things about him by force. As a feminine woman, you have to learn the art of feminine influence. And if you want a video about feminine influence, make sure you do leave a comment below and I'll make a separate video about feminine influence. Feminine influence is not manipulation. It's not assertion. It's soft power. It is being able to influence a man positively without taking control from him, right? You're not taking control. You're not seizing control for yourself. It's not from a place of pridefulness. Soft power is rooted in humility. It's rooted in peace. It's rooted in softness. It's rooted in femininity. There are ways to influence a man and at the same time still accept him. It's more so of making a suggestion, putting something on the table, speaking life into him, speaking who God said that he is. It's that type of Abigail spirit. If you read the story about Abigail and David in the Bible, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to soft power. A man could be wrong, or a little bit off, but you don't wield that against him. You still sit here and accept him. If he falls, you let him. You let him fall, and you are there to be his support when he does fall. But you don't just battle with him for control. Okay? You don't try to change every little thing about him. You celebrate the differences that you both have. You celebrate his uniqueness, not try to constantly change it because he's not you. You accept, hey, this man is not me, or maybe there's a worldview that he has or a thought process, whatever. You accept they don't process information like we do. They don't think how we do. They don't feel how we do. It's okay. But because a lot of women are so codependent, they find safety in you are exactly like me because that's predictable. No, you have to release control. Too many women are so controlling and so manipulative. Any little thing. Oh, why is the dish like this? Why did you wash it like this? Why did you do it like this? Why this? Why this? Why are you like this? Why? Don't do that. Again, you're turning him off because it's like you're just nitpicking at every little thing that doesn't need to be a discussion. If he left his sock on the floor and you know that, hey, my man is just more messy than I am, just accept him. Accept it. You pick it up. If you have that strength and you're more clean, you focus on your strengths and you focus on his strengths. And in the words of my mother-in-law, don't sweat the small stuff, okay? If it's that big of a deal, hire a house cleaner. But the small things that are not life and death, even if he laughs at things that you feel are inappropriate, so what? Who cares? That's just him. Okay, I don't find that funny, but you find that funny, whatever. And you move on. But too many women, they don't have a strong enough identity and they are just trying to push themselves on someone else. No, everyone is not like you. Even when it comes to certain things that he may be walking through spiritually that he may not understand. Can you walk through it with him? Can you be patient? Can you long suffer with someone? A lot of women cannot do that. And this is the reason why men start to lose attraction, because they start to control, they start to manipulate, they start to nag. And those things start to chip away at the integrity of your relationship. Okay, so, hey, next, let's move on. I could talk about this for a long time. T is trust. You have to trust your man. Okay, and this really is... Obviously, there's levels to this. Like a man that you just met yesterday, you probably don't trust him yet. Like you could trust him as far as you can throw him, which is not very far. But as you get to know a man and you guys are in a relationship that's leading to marriage, you guys are married, you have to relinquish control. You have to learn to trust your man to be a man. Okay, and I could do a whole nother video about that, guys. I have the videos, because really just be a baby girl. Like for me, when I started working on my godly femininity, I stayed in that identity. I said, first of all, I'm a daughter. Okay. I'm a daughter. I already know how my relationship is with God, but also I understand and I have a deep understanding when it comes to male headship as written in the word. And as a man, I have to trust you to be a man. I'm not going to step into your role for nothing, because that's not my job. Okay. So if your man says he's going to do something, trust him to do it. But he has to build it up. And if he does something and maybe in a way that you may not have thought about or you may not like, you still have to encourage him in that and then just give him suggestions, right? Oh, wow, I'm so glad that you did this thing. But what women do is that a man will step up to the plate in his masculinity, and then they start to nitpick, you didn't do this well enough. And they start to point out this, and a man starts to feel discouraged and he just starts to retreat. Okay, then I ain't gonna do nothing for you. So if you're wondering why you don't get treated like a baby girl by men, it's because you don't trust men to be men. I don't care who the man is. At the end of the day, it's not me, right? You can't sit here and keep manufacturing your own unhappiness and then blame men. If you don't like taking on certain masculine roles, stop doing it. Hello, stop doing it. Trust men to be men. And even if they are untrustworthy in certain things, take your hands off of it and let them fail. I will talk today. You have to let men fail, just like children. They have to make their own mistakes. They have to fail. They have to learn and grow in their certain capacities. You can't do everything for them because it's not your job. So if your man has to step up when it comes to leadership, let him fall. If some of you guys, I don't get it. Some women, they sit here and they take on the role of a mother. And that's why a man loses attraction for you. It's okay. Thanks for building me up. I'm going to go find my wife now. Because why? You play the role of a mother. You're sitting here getting him jobs. You're sitting here filling out job applications for him. You're sitting here trying to be his pastor, trying to be his therapist, trying to be his mentor. That's not your job. Your job is to be his rib. Hello, to be his rib, not his leader. You point him to resources and you let him figure it out on his own. Oh, you know what? My pastor could probably help you with that scripture. Hello. It's like, oh yeah, I know this video of this man, right? Who can help you. Oh, I know a man that can help you with this issue. I always say that as a woman, you cannot teach a grown man how to be a man of God. A man can only learn how to be a man by another man. So stop being the man in the relationship, direct him to other men and take your hands off of it and let him fail, learn and grow in his own masculinity. You're going to learn today why Jumoke gets chased, okay? You're going to learn today why my husband was always speaking about how he enjoys me as a wife. But anyways, not even just trying to brag. I'm just saying I'm giving you the playbook so that you guys can understand. And the last A is admiration. Admiration is really important. You have to speak life into your man. You have to see the hero in him. The issue is too many women, really all of this, Rata, you're going to struggle with Rata if you have a lot of pride. If you are a woman who is extremely prideful, you think you're better than men, just as good as men, I could do bad all by myself, men are this, men are that, if you think that you can be a better man than men are, you're going to struggle. It's a turnoff because everything about what you do, what you say to men is always going to come from this place of pride, of I think I'm better than you. You're just like a son to me. I am more competent at being a man than you are. And if you keep having that attitude, you're going to keep turning men off. Men don't like that. So admiration, you have to speak life into your man. Make it a habit to compliment him every single day. It could be the smallest thing. Oh, like just small stuff. Try to find a hero in him. Try to prop him up when it comes to his masculinity. That's why if you don't like certain things or whatever, instead of complaining that your man doesn't do this good enough, he doesn't lead me like the alpha men do, why don't you just encourage him in his leadership? Speak life. Speak life, even if it's something small. Okay, look at my babe. He doing this, he doing that. I really like this about you. I enjoy this about you. Speak to what do you like about them. Stop complaining. Stop nagging. Less nagging. Stop complaining. Stop complaining, married woman jokes. But yeah, you want to speak life into him. Find ways to be a baby girl. Something like, for example, I'll give you an example. Sure, I might go to the gym, but I'm not going to sit here and stress myself. If I can't open something like a jar, I'm going to try once, try twice, and I'm like, I have a husband. And I go give it to him. If I have an issue, I go to my husband first. Some of you guys, you want to be strong black women, then you complain about how come nobody ever sits here and rescues me, because you don't make yourself rescuable. You don't find the hero in men. If I am struggling with something, even when I was single, I would ask a young man, can you help me with this? Excuse me, hi, can you help me with this? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Guys, one thing y'all gonna know about Jumoke is that Jumoke is a certified baby girl, okay? I am a certified, a baby girl. A lot of you guys don't get baby girl treatment from men because you don't play the baby girl role. You want to be the dominant one. You want to be independent, which I get it. For some Black women, it could be soul wounds and your daddy issues and your mama, your daddy, da. They say you'll never amount to nothing. Whatever, go to therapy, figure it out, okay? Get to the root of that. But at the end of the day, you have to find things that you enjoy about your partner, and you have to nurture your relationship. That's why I keep saying great marriages are not found, they're built. You have to nurture your relationship. You have to keep speaking life. You can't just coast through it. You have to start creating certain habits and disciplines. So I thank my husband for a small thing. Thank you for taking out the trash. Thank you for paying the bills. Thank you for being a great husband, being a great father. I speak life to him every single day. I tell my husband, you are so handsome. Do you know that? Praise the Lord, baby. I'm like, you're really cute. Listen, praise the Lord. That's what my husband will say. Amen. And that's how I flirt with my husband, but that's our thing. But I tell him constantly, you're really trying, like, just even small things of, wow, sometimes I have to stop and appreciate your height because I can't take this for granted. I like that. I look up to you. Just small things, anything, even big things, but constantly speak life into your man. Admire him. Okay, so that's Rata. Then it is, next thing. Ooh, I'm running out of time. It is don't argue. Okay, this one too could be a whole separate video. I have a video of this already, but if you want me to make an update video about not arguing with men, this is really big. Do not argue. My husband and I, since we've been married, we have never once argued. It does not mean that we don't disagree. It doesn't mean that I think my husband is right in everything that he does. But ultimately, I believe that arguing is just a symptom of pride and manipulation. Okay, this going back and forth and bickering and getting heated and having argument, no, it's not giving baby girl, okay? It's just one or both people think that they're right and they're trying to coerce, manipulate, change someone to think how they think. That's really what arguments are. That's it. They're just trying to find different ways, whether through emotions, whether through words, just trying to find ways for them to agree with them, for the other person to agree with them. And I don't do that. Okay, I made a resolve in my singleness. I'm not arguing with men. I will never argue with a man. And that's simply because a lot of reasons, but one of the things that really changed me and changed my perspective on how I viewed arguing was I was in a very toxic friendship. And she used to just argue. I'm talking about like anything, like I would have a thought or I would have a certain view, and she would, if she didn't agree, she would start to argue with me, raise her voice, step over my boundaries. And I hated being on the receiving end of that. And I said, I can't do that to somebody else. I hated that. It was not it. It was not it. And I'm talking about things that I'm like, so it's my life. And she was fostering this atmosphere of codependency. Like we all had to think the same. It was like very group think. And I'm like, but I don't think like you. I don't, and that is okay. Or I'm not there yet. Or I think that you're wrong. I think that I'm further in understanding this than you are. But since you're so busy trying to be right and trying to fight to be right all the time because you're prideful, you're arguing with me with my own thoughts. I don't like that. And when it comes to men are their own person, especially men, like it's one thing with women, but especially men think so much differently than we do. They're just not us. Men are not women. And a lot of women are expecting men to be women dressed in men's clothes. They're not. And the quicker you can just accept, hey, this is just how they are, this is how they think, and take it a step further. When you're married to a man, you have to submit and respect his leadership. Now, I would hope that you would marry a man that is collaborative, that is not a tyrant when it comes to his leadership, but ultimately, you cannot have two heads. And another reason why I don't argue and I just respect my husband's authority so much is because I have a gift of leadership. In my whole adulthood, I probably led 7 different groups, organizations, and businesses. And it is very difficult to try to get things done when you have a Jezebel in your midst. You have someone who does not respect your leadership and thinks that they're always right. Like, I can't do it, right? I can't, because Jezebel thrives when there's weak leadership. So for me, I'm like, you don't have to like everything that I do. And I don't even have to be perfect. I don't even have to do everything perfectly. But if God gave me this thing to steward, I am the one who started. I have to take the weight and the burden of leadership because everybody wants the respect and they want the perks of being a leader, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it. And it's a high cost. If I listen to you and I'm just following after you and there's disorder, and let's say you're wrong and everything crumbles or something bad happens, who's going to take the blame? Me, because I'm the leader, right? This is how we're doing it. No is no. The end. If you don't like it, leave. I'm just not. Listen, y'all, I'm not the one, the two, or the three. Okay, when I was leading people, I'm just not. I know, don't let the pretty face fool you, because when it comes to leadership, I don't mess around with that. And you cannot be a good leader. You can't be a good leader if you haven't been a good follower, right? So for me, leading so many different people, I understand the weight of leadership. When my husband and I, when we collaborate, or even there's certain things that I may not agree with my husband, I tell him, he takes into consideration, but ultimately he has to have a strong frame and move on his own. Because this is why we even see in the Bible, oh, you're punished as a man because you listened to your wife and she was wrong. You should have told her this is what we doing, and you listened to her instead of the conviction I gave you. Okay. Another thing that some women do, especially Christian women, don't ever get this twisted. This idea of God is whatever direction for our family, God is going to tell me to. That is a lie. Where does it say that in the Bible? Why would God sit here and go through improper order? Why would he skip the head to go to the body and tell the body the directions and skip the head? No. If your husband sits here and say, hey, I think we have to move to so-and-so to sit here to Guatemala and build some schoolhouses for the kids, I don't even know, whatever. If he says, hey, this is how we're going to move as a family, it's not for you to now argue with him and say, no, because God, he didn't tell me that. No, this type of conditional submission that women do is the reason why you keep arguing, because you think you're always right. You lack humility. And even if your husband is wrong, it's not for you to argue with your husband. It's for you to get on your knees and pray that the Lord is leading your husband, or the Lord opens your husband's eyes. But don't argue with the person, right? You fight the problem, not the person. And when you guys do have a serious disagreement, instead of going back and forth, my husband and I, we're just so solution oriented. Okay, how can we move forward? How can we have a compromise? What can we do? We don't fight each other and look at each other like, how can you think this way? How can you do? No, okay, this is what happened. This is the outcome. What can we do to move forward? And it takes a lot of humility. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of emotional intelligence. And this is the reason why women, they bicker with men. They're fighting with men. Do you think that's going to make him like you more? No. Okay, so this is it. Okay, these three things. Okay, these three things. If you can be a peaceable woman, right? If you can really be a peace to a man, if you can be attractive to a man, if you can give him rata, okay? These three things, I really believe, I'm talking about any season. It don't matter if you're pregnant, don't matter if you're going through. I'm talking about if you want your man to always go crazy for you, these are the three things. Now, I got something spicy, okay? The last point from a married woman, okay? And for the women who are desiring marriage. I'm going to talk about this briefly because I'm super over time. And also, this could be its own video as well. But the last one, you have to do these things first. Now that you're married and you're doing these things, this is the icing on the cake. And that is sexual enthusiasm. Oof. I know, juicy. But I don't think that we talk about this enough, especially as Christian women. And I think that married women should really talk to young women more about this, because there's no holiness in being prude, right? Like, you're married, okay? Like, this purity culture has really damaged so many women. So they're sitting here, oh, I don't really want to, I'm a holy woman. It's like, you're a holy woman, then why'd you get married? The Bible says that your body belongs to your husband and your husband's body belongs to you. The Bible is not shy about talking about sex. It's not holy to be celibate while you're married. Hello? Why? Unless if you're abstaining together for a purpose, you should not be denying each other sex. We should talk more about that. Is an expectation that you will have when you're married. But for a lot of women, they just think, oh, like sex is for men. No. Actually, let me just go through my notes real quick so I don't go off tangent too much. So first, I'm going to just talk about three things. One, your attitude when it comes to sex. Like I said, don't be prude, okay? This is part of your wifey duties. Even back then in the Old Testament, if you wanted to be married, women had certain rights. And the rights that they had in marriage were food, clothing, and sex, right? And sex. If you were to get another wife, you could not deny the first wife those three rights, okay? Which is why even in Isaiah 4:1, it was such a contrast because of judgment on Judah. I think Judah or Jerusalem, or maybe Jerusalem. And it was a contrast of 7 women clinging to one man saying, you don't even have to provide for us. You don't got to feed us. You don't even have, we just want your last name. They're sitting like, it was going to be so bad in Jerusalem that 7 women were going to cling to one man, and they did not care about being provided for. They did not care about being fed, and they did not care about let me not use that word because I don't know how to pronounce it. They didn't even care about access to sex by their husband. That's how bad it was going to be. They just wanted to make sure that they were married and that they had a name to pass down. So your attitude about sex has to change. Yeah, it has to change because we talk about every other expectation, but this idea of like, why does he want to have sex all the time? Why? I didn't come here for all of that. I just came here to have sex like once in a while, maybe when I'm ovulating, so that I can have a baby and that's it. Because some women, you don't realize you're going to have to hunch this person, for the rest of your life, okay? So you need to start changing the way that you think about it. If you got some toxic purity culture dogma, go to a therapist for that, go to a Christian sex therapist, whatever you got to do. At the end of the day, you have to start changing your attitude about sex, not thinking like it's this dirty, nasty thing, but this is a gift from the Lord. Okay, this is a gift that you can enjoy within marriage. Okay, next thing is enjoy sex with him. So when I say sexual enthusiasm, you have to enjoy sex with them because some women, they're just there. And men want to feel like they're pleasing their woman. They want to feel like their woman is enjoying sex with them. It is a binding thing, right? Like it's something that's bringing you together as one. But for some women, they just tap out completely, or they avoid sex, or they just do a lot of weird stuff. And this is why I keep saying that people are trying to float on the high of chemistry and they think that's going to make a successful marriage. No, you have to put in intentionality. You can't just be going long stretches of time without having sex and because you don't want to know that, and then try to blame him or say no, that's something that you have to figure out on your own. If your husband is a good man, if he is trying to understand you, trying to please you, it's you. If you have some trauma going on, you need to go talk to a counselor, okay? And then last thing, when it comes to sexual enthusiasm, I would say is initiating sex. So I know, super juicy, but these are the things that make your husband feel wanted. Your husband wants to feel wanted. He wants to feel needed. He wants to feel admired by you. And I get it when we're like, but I shouldn't be chasing him. I shouldn't be pursuing. You're married. You're married, okay? These are things that people will tell you. When you are initiating sex with your husband, when you are the one who is like looking to him like, wow, you's really been a good man. I'm for to please you. Okay? Think about it. Don't think about it like pursuing. Think about it almost like a service. Think about it like cooking his favorite meal, right? I hope you don't think that doing kind things for your husband is pursuing, right? Because sex is not the same thing. This is something that it's for both of you. It's not you chasing your husband. I don't know exactly how to explain that, but don't be afraid to initiate. These are the things that will make him feel loved by you. Okay, because men see sex differently. Women, women honestly can be celibate, but I don't think men can really. Like most men, I think most men, they need sex. And I'm saying need, obviously, like there's self-control, but there's a higher desire for sex because they have more testosterone than women. So men can't really go long stretches of time. Like you see women on social media, they brag about, I've been celibate. It's not celibate, it's abstinent. I've been abstinent for 14 years. And it's, wow. And for some women, it's actually fine for them. Like it's, yeah, during ovulation, is it like a hill to get over? But for some women, they really don't desire sex, which I say that if you really don't desire sex, don't get married, because that will be a burdening obligation for you to fulfill if you really don't have, I don't want to say a high sex drive, because sometimes it's not high, it's just normal. But if you don't have an average, normal type of sex drive, and you're what they call asexual, then maybe marriage is not for you, simply because it's just going to cause more complications down the road. So if you can live your life as a single person and dedicate your life to the service and the ministry of God, I would say do that versus getting married. But ultimately, if you feel a tickle, don't wait for your husband. You guys need to start talking and really talk about, hey, these are the things that tickle me, right? These are the things that make me want you. And have these honest conversations so that you guys can just enjoy one another. But that is it. I've been talking for almost 45 minutes and my daughter has not woken up yet. And I still have one more video. Please pray for me. But yeah, so that is, I would say, the 4 things, right? The 4 things. If you want to remain chaseable, if you want to make your man always crazy for you, I would say these are 4 things. The last one is really the icing on the cake to the first 3. And if you want a more detailed explanation about the last one, again, let me know in the comments. But if you enjoyed videos like this, make sure that you do subscribe. You hit the bell so that you can get more great notifications, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.